And we are ready to roll, rested after a Thanksgiving weekend, and we've got major news in the air. Rico Beard, what's going on, brother?
Nothing. That's even though it's about me, that's probably one of Roberto's better opens.
It is.
That's
funny.
I
wanna offer two big opinions here on what Michigan did Saturday, and then I want to see if, by offering these opinions, if that's what sparks the conversation, Rico. Here's what this radio show's not going to do. We're not going to do a game recap. I'm not going to ask you, what's your favorite play? I don't care.
Oh, it's got to be that second Donovan Edwards touchdown.
I'm into the bigger picture. So let me offer the two things, and then, Rico, you can take it to six. I've said all year, and there have been moments of more faith, less faith, the national title's coming out of the Big Ten. And what Michigan did Saturday only made me feel better about it. I'm not telling you it would be easy. I'm not telling you that you'll be favored to do it, but nobody thought you would win a natty last year, myself included. And I don't know another time outside of maybe 2006 in my time in this town where I felt that Michigan had the type of team necessary to compete at that level. You have one. What you did to Ohio State Saturday, you had every counterpunch. You know, Rico and I collectively, and I think you as a fan base, we talked about, well, they haven't played a good first half. They haven't shown a passing game. They haven't gone on the road and played anybody. And then you were going to go and do it without Blake Corum. And what you did was counterpunch every time. It's what the good teams do. It's what the elite teams do. Jim Knowles wanted to take away your running game. So you know what you did? Cool. You're gonna go man, one-on-one, no safety in the area code. Done. And JJ was able to hit open receivers down the field. Then they decided, okay, you're not doing that anymore. And you physically pounded on them. And once again, Rico, second half, the opponent, their game is over. Michigan has kind of turned into the Yankees with Mo Rivera. Basically, hope you enjoyed the first five. Go get yourself a Bud Heavy. We'll take it from here.
You know what? That's a great analogy, Mike, because, I thought this Ohio State, they scored 20 points in the first half.
Yep.
3.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious right now? I mean, Illinois is the team that actually scored the most points in the second half against Michigan. I wouldn't have put money on that bet.
No. And again, what I'm trying to say to you in not so many words is if you're a Michigan fan, and not all of you, many of you spent all week finding ways to lose and still get in. Get your mind right. This is the best opportunity you've had in a quarter of a century to win a national title. There is no one I would pick to beat you, including Georgia, right now, is I would say, look, you can go into that game, you can win that game. TCU's not beating you. USC's not beating you. Alabama's not beating you. So I am very comfortable when I see a team that I think is the business. Now, I've done it with my own. I've done it with yours. I just shoot you straight because it leads me to point two, Rico, and this is the other thing I want to talk to people about. This is Harbaugh's conference now. That doesn't bring me any pleasure in saying it. In fact, nope. I'm currently looking at real estate in Belize. But my point is,
we could be neighbors.
Yeah, Rico, we're buying a duplex. We're out of here. No, it's basically for 2 decades, the conference was taken away from Michigan. Ohio State ran it. And there were blips of Michigan State and Wisconsin, but Ohio State, the Big Ten ran through Columbus. I can tell you what happened Saturday, in my opinion, is more than just a win. I think you broke Ohio State football. I think you broke them mentally. You broke them spiritually. You damn sure broke them physically. You broke them. Because they spent their whole year making it personal. I know Rico's got a whole speech about that. They wanted to kill you. And then the horrifying realization that all their preparation, all the time, all the effort, winter ball, spring ball, summer ball, the countdown clock, the whole season, all of it didn't matter because they still couldn't line up and really hang with you. You physically broke them. I think you broke Ryan Day. And now this conference, I hate saying it, but it's real. It goes to Ann Arbor. So if you're a Buckeye, you wanna yell at me about it, you're a Spartan, you do whatever you want. You know my rules. Don't cry when it hurts. Nobody likes a whiner. Take your medicine. This is Michigan's conference now. They beat the Buckeyes back-to-back impressively. And what they did Saturday, that's a depantsing. They pulled OSU's undies up above their head and hung them on the goalposts. Period. And they did it in their house, and they did it without their best player. So the two takeaways for me, you got a chance to win the Natty here, a real one. And the changing of the guard has happened. You now have taken the rivalry by force, and you've taken the conference by force. How are you going to hang on to it, etc.? I'm not interested. I'm talking about where we are now. So, Rico, if you want to rip both of those, you want to agree, you do whatever you want. And I know you've got a whole spiel you want to deliver on the personal thing, which I love. 248-539-9797. And I want to let you know, Rico, still fully oiled in Hawaiian tropic. He's in a much better climate than I right now. It's very exciting.
No, Mike, here's the thing. I agree with what you said to a point. I think that when I watched what Michigan did in that game, especially, here's the thing that gets lost. As much as we made fun of their lack of a non-conference schedule, it was something I was keeping my eye on, and I wanted to see what happened when you play some of the big boys, and Ohio State was that big boy. The fact that you could just shut people down in the second half. I don't know what's in the water, in the Gatorade. I don't know what that halftime speech is, but whatever points you score up against Michigan, you better score them in the first half, because other than that, you're not getting anything. You'll get a field goal. That's it. That's your gift bag as your thank you for playing Michigan. Now, I think that after watching that game and looking at just the combination that Michigan has and seeing that JJ answered all the questions that I've been wondering and that I've been hearing about. JJ went out there and did JJ-like things, the things that people promised me that he could do, hitting the guys on deep passes and moving that offense with no Blake Corum. I look at the remaining teams. I think that we're headed towards Michigan, Georgia 2.
Agree.
A rematch from last year in the national title game. But that means that Michigan is going to do something that no Big Ten team has done in a long time, win that semifinal game. So, yeah, I do see Michigan making it to the national title game. I still think Georgia is kind of in a class by themselves, and please don't take that as a slight against Michigan. I just look and see at Michigan's defense and wonder, how do you cover both tight ends? Because when Georgia wants to put it on you, you can't stop it. As you would like to say, Mike, they order the pizza and you're going to eat pizza.
Yeah, but here's what I would say, and we could leave it here because we'll be doing plenty of those shows because they're going to beat Purdue. And I don't see a scenario where USC or TCU can beat them. They'll have a far better shot against Georgia this year than last year. I think we could agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year's Georgia team was intergalactic mode.
It will be a better game. This game won't be over at halftime. No. I think this game will be the national title game that people really want to see. This is one that could go down to the final 5 minutes. And I do think that if that's the case, and looking at Michigan's defense and how they play, they could have a shot. Now, their biggest concern to me is how do you stop those 2, 6, 7 tight ends? Because that could be a little bit of a difference maker.
It's a different challenge. It's a different assignment. I agree with you.
And we'll talk more about this tomorrow.
What?
But hey, there's 2 other teams out there waiting.
Let me do this for Rico. Here you go. You're about to bring up Alabama, aren't you?
Alabama. Not only Alabama, Mike, believe it or not, Ohio State could be back.
I will fight you to the death. That bunch of gutless bleeps has no business being in the playoff. Ohio State showed their ass at home. They were whiny. They are soft. I'm out. They are not getting in.
Dude, Mike, TCU loses. USC loses. You're going to get a rematch in Alabama and Ohio State back in there.
What?
Come on. If you're a Michigan fan, come on. You get to put the death sentence to Ryan Day.
You don't want it. You don't want it indoors, fast track, second time in a month. You don't want that. And Ohio State doesn't deserve it. I told you before this game was played, I don't care how good of a game it is. The loser has no credibility getting in. And the fact that Michigan sandblasted them without Corum, no way, dude.
No. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to say Clemson finally went Clemson and figured a way out of it. LSU ended their possible hope of getting there. Things are getting kind of slim. And
Bama goes over them.
No. You would need, I'm saying USC going up against Utah, the one team that has already beat them this year, and Kansas State and TCU.
Right. They could both lose.
Right.
And that means Bama goes.
You need 4 teams.
Bama goes.
That's only 3.
No.
Okay,
Bama,
you play 3?
Bama, Michigan. Who cares? And then we just roll out with Georgia. We're good.
Yeah. Who cares?
We're good here.
Resides in Columbus.
TCU still gets in with 1 loss. There, I answered it. We're done. We're done. I will not look at C.J. Stroud's pouty face anymore. I told you he's overrated. You can have him.
No, you did.
You can have him.
Yeah.
Put him on your board. There ain't no room at the end for him in my world.
No. He ain't on the board, and trust me, I can't tell you who I'm voting for, but he ain't going to be on my Heisman ballot.
It's Caleb.
At all.
248-539-9797. So the two, and you guys can take this wherever you want, but the two takeaways are, A, I'm standing by it. I think you can win the Natty. I think you can do this. This is a down year in college ball, and nobody will remember that in 50 years. You can do this. There's no vintage Bama or even vintage Georgia waiting for you. The way you counterpunched, what you can do, I think it's all there. And then
hold on. Let me just say this. I think it's a little disingenuous to say it's a down year. I just think that it's a competitive year in college football because I don't want to make it seem like, oh, well, you only won because there was no dominant team.
No.
It's a very –
I don't care if it's a down team,
I don't care
down
either.
year or not. If we win, I'm celebrating.
Hey, Rico, you're going to win a down NFC this year. You're going to apologize for the trip to the Super Bowl? No.
No, well, we still got games to go. It's
okay, you just keep chopping. My point is, number 2 is I think you broke OSU. I think you've taken the conference by force. I think you broke Ohio State football. You can laugh at that, but I mean it. And you want to know how I know it? Because I see what the same things you did to them are the same things that D'Antonio did to you back in the day. And when your team is out of answers and your team puts everything they have into it and they just still get straight bullied, you're broken. Mm-hmm. Ohio State has lost an edge. They don't have it. You do.
And you know what? It does remind me of those years with Michigan State because it was like, oh, well, next year this can't possibly happen. And it just kept happening. It's in their head. Ryan Day, I feel sorry for him.
I don't.
We laugh but we laugh and joke and say, well, you know what? Tucker has to do this and that. Urban Meyer was pissed after the game. I got a feeling that if he said, you know what, I'll come back, they would take him in a heartbeat.